evening, everyone. Welcome to the Mamapreneur podcast. I am your amazingly fabulous hostess in pink today, Robbin, and I am so grateful for you all being here today for episode 105, y'all. So welcome. Y'all peep that really quick. Kesha change the color really quick. Quick with it. I said episode 105. I was like, man, when I see you guys in a few weeks, we will be celebrating 5 years of the Mamapreneur podcast. And that is all thanks to Kesha LaShawn. 106 episodes by then. And so just very grateful just every time that we get to do this thing called the Mamapreneur podcast. So Kesha Kesh, Power Team CEO, I appreciate you dearly, boo. So, for my peeps, you're new to the Mamapreneur podcast. Hi, welcome. This show is all things about spotlighting women-owned businesses from all over the country while marketing their brands to a global audience while building community at the same time. Before these ladies just went on live just now, I made sure the ladies connected, and that's where it starts. So this brand is all things community, connection, collaboration. And so we start with the guests before we even get over to them. You hearing what they have to say, honey. And so welcome to the fun of the Mamapreneur podcast. So before I even go over my spiel and introduce these ladies, I would like for you guys to do a few things in the audience because you're not doing nothing but listening to me, okay? So first things first, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, I want you to go ahead and share the live. So wherever you're tuning in from, share the live. Also, if you're watching us via replay, give me a hashtag replay in the chat if you're watching us via the replay. All right. If you're watching us via replay. So next, we have people that watch from all over the world. And we've got somebody international on today. So get ready to see that. So I want you to post where you're tuning in from. And I love it when I go back and look at analytics later. I'm like, Barbados, Turkey, how'd they find me? But they did. So, you know, I'm good with that. All right. And if you're an entrepreneur in the audience, this platform started from attending a networking event 6 years ago. And what has now transformed into Mamapreneur podcast and everything else that goes along with that. Therefore, my point, tell everybody what you're doing because you never know who's watching or need your services. So what I need you to do is put your business information in the chat, your social media, your website, whatever that looks like. I need you to put that in the chat. Email address for someone to get to you. And what you do, post that in the chat for me, because again, no one's going to know who you are and what you do until you talk about it. All right. So I know I gave you a lot of schoolwork, not homework in this case, in a matter of seconds. So share the live. Let me know where you're from. And if you're a business owner, put your business information in the chat so we can support you and know who you are and what you do. All right. All right, a few announcements before I get over to my amazing first guest. Have you subscribed to the Mamapreneur podcast YouTube channel? If not, you should. So if you're watching me on YouTube right now and haven't subscribed, I just need you to press that good old subscribe button. Why not? You just should. Okay. all things Mamapreneur there. I'm just cracking jokes, but all things Mamapreneur there. So make sure that you are doing just that. So subscribe to our channel. Also, if you are a business owner, it does not matter where you are in the world, and you are serious about investing in your brand and getting your brand out there to a global audience, I am now booking guest spots for the remainder of 2026. We're booking into August right now of 2026. So if you are serious, if you are hungry for exposure for your brand, the Mamapreneur podcast is where it's at. Again, next month, in 2 weeks. It'll be 5 years, dude. Oh my God. It's 5 years of ladies getting exposure on this platform. 5 years of seeing people get opportunities for being on this show in some shape, form, capacity. Most recently, keynote speaker. Someone saw someone on this show, and they now have a keynote speaking engagement from it. So the opportunities do happen, but you have to put yourself out there to do good stuff. All right. As many of you know, I founded a nonprofit at the end of last year, which is Team Robbins Divas Cancer Foundation, which is a cancer foundation founded by me, which I am a 9-year survivor, and paying it forward to what was done for me 9 years ago. And I'm doing the same for women who are currently in cancer treatment, raising funds, providing education and care packages. And so we most recently got our letter. We are officially a 501c3 nonprofit organization, Team Robbins Divas Cancer Foundation. And so you should see the link posted in a moment where you can support a diva today. So I'm doing a blanket drive. We're doing a little bit of everything right now. So link will be posted in a moment where you can get more information on the nonprofit and how you can partner with us, because more events and things are to come. So Team Robbins Divas Cancer Foundation. Follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn under Team Robbins Divas Cancer Foundation. All right. So next, as you know, I'm always hosting something. And so I have 3 upcoming events. So if you are in the Dallas, Fort Worth area, I got some events for you. They'll be posted on the screen in the moment. Head over and reserve your spot. Number 1, this upcoming Saturday, March 28th, 2026, is the Mamapreneur Her Story brunch celebrating Women's History Month. Come in your baddest pantsuit. Everybody got a pantsuit lying around at home somewhere, somehow. It's a great way to come and network with like-minded ladies from all over DFW. Registration is actually closing. So if you are wanting to be in the room, this is your sign, because I'm closing registration tonight. So I had a few people tell me to hold off. So it will be closing tonight. So if you are wanting to be in the room, March 28th, 2026, head over to the link that'll be posted to reserve your seat, and I'll see you on Saturday. All right. Next, for my DFW real estate professionals, whether you're in commercial real estate, residential real estate, title, insurance, attorney, photographer, appraiser, what else? Investor, all aspects of real estate. My friend Misha Miller and I are hosting our quarterly networking event for real estate professionals. It is called Keys and Tees, honey. So you put on your tee that represents your brand, and we got a little something to go with that. So Keys and Tees, April 18th, Arlington, Texas. Get in the room. And lastly, April 24th, 2026. That's a Friday evening. I am hosting the Mamapreneur Networking Dinner. Come in your pastels, honey. Come in your pearls. Pastels and Pearls Networking Dinner. You know, we like to look cute, but we're going to be getting cute and getting in the room and with intention. So True connection happens when you are in the room. April 24th, 2026, Plano, Texas. Get in the room. All right. Shouts out to Kisha with the sound effects. Just take Kisha everywhere with that button, with the claps. Okay. So, before I get to my guests, for those who know me, you know that I love a good affirmation. I love speaking life into people, but we got to speak life into ourselves. All right. And so, of course, we are indeed in Women's History Month. So this is our only show this month for Women's History Month. So I thought, why not do some affirmations? I'll hype us up already, but hype us up a little more. So you got your pen, your paper, your note section, your transcribe. Jot these down, and I hope these bless you today. All right. I only did a few today for the sake of time. So first is I am worthy of being seen, heard, and paid for what I bring to the table. Let me say that again. I am worthy of being seen, heard, and paid for what I bring to the table. I am stepping into abundance with ease. I am stepping into abundance with ease. You guys should like this next one. I am intentional with my time and energy. I need some sound effects coming with that. I am intentional with my time and energy. I am honoring my boundaries without guilt. I am honoring my boundaries without guilt. And lastly, I am that woman, confident, capable, and called for more. I am that woman, confident, capable, and called for more. That's it. All right. So before I get to my first guest, guys, this is a very engaging podcast. So if you have questions for our guests, if you're agreeing with what they're saying, if you just love me and you just want to show me love in the chat, feel free to type in the chat. If you have questions for these ladies, they can answer them live for you on air. Okay. So just want to put that out there. So make sure you're talking to us. We're going to have some amazing things to say, but make sure you talk to us too. All right. We talk back. We don't bite. All right. My first guest, we're going to tell her good morning because of where she's located. Her name is Amanda. She is a homeschooling parent, solo parent, serial entrepreneur, best-selling co-author of The Pursuit of Badasserie, which I love the name. We'll talk in a moment. An award-winning strategist for her no-fluff solutions first approach. With 25 years plus of experience starting, scaling, and mentoring businesses worldwide, she specializes in creative, problem solving, time management, and building businesses that actually work. As a co-founder of the Badasserie, alongside Lynn Howard, Amanda helps entrepreneurs step into their CEO power, cutting the noise, ditching the shoulds, and building scalable, sustainable, and sellable businesses that truly change lives, all the way from Bangkok. Her name is Amanda. And Amanda, you going to say your last name because I'm not messing it up today. Go.
It's Furquielle.
Say it again, Amanda.
Furquielle.
I was going to call it Gelly. I was going to say Furquielle. I was going to mess it up.
No, I've heard every version of my last name. And if it vaguely sounds like it starts with an F, I'll respond to it.
I love it. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Friday, for being here with us today. I just love your story and just what you do with your business. And right off the bat, before I go into my questions, my first question, since we are in Women's History Month, what does Women's History Month mean to you? I'm going to ask every guest this tonight.
You know, I think for me, when I think about, like, for instance, the history of my family and how things have changed, I think about just the exponential growth that has happened every generation. I mean, I think my mother, you know, was raised originally on the reservation. She's Native American, and you know, when they wanted food, they had to go catch it. And so it's just, and then to have my lifestyle now and how I travel the world and do all these things that weren't even options when my mother was growing up. And then now to see I have a son, not a daughter, but to see how it's changed for him, even in the lifespan that I've had. I think, how much change can we possibly see in our lifetimes, and how is that going to exponentially grow in the next generations? And it just, I imagine that people who look back on, like Joan of Arc, and, you know, if they could see what we're doing now, they would be absolutely floored with how far we've come and how far we have to go. And I hope that I hope that I am living up to that legacy, because there's so much change that we can see in the world. And I hope that I'm a part of that.
Absolutely. You are. So, Amanda, what is badasserie for those in the back that may not know what that means?
For those in the back, get to the front. Badasserie is it is a movement that my business partner and friend Lynn and I started a few years ago. It started with our first book, The Pursuit of Badasserie, and a second book came from that. It's also a podcast. It is international programs, scholarship program, all the things. But mostly it's about empowering business owners to get out of their own way, to step into the CEO mode, because what we don't want to see, but what we see often, is that business owners create a job for themselves, and they're the worst paid, most overworked employee at a job they created for themselves. And so we want to teach business owners how you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, how you can step into that CEO mode and actually have a life that you can, a life that you want, a life that allows you the freedom to do things like for your kid and, you know, do the things you want, travel the world. So we really want to help business owners grow and scale in a way that makes sense, in a way that is still aligned with who they are as people. And that's the basis of why we started what we do. We want to teach business owners how to get the best out of their business and themselves.
Absolutely. So I always like to throw questions at people just to see what we, in this case. So since we're at the end of Q1, and as we go into Q2, what is a tip you would give someone right now, just for their business, kind of if they're in planning mode right now, which you should be planning a little bit earlier, but some, may wait toward the end?
I always say that you should be looking at your goals quarterly. So instead of this whole New Year's resolution, new you, new year, new me crap, basically, I would love for you to look at it quarterly, start making adjustments as you go, and really think about your goals from a reverse engineering standpoint. If you want to be the president of the United States, well, you're going to have to put in the work now, because it's going to take a while for that to actually come fruition. If you want to make $1 million, it's not going to happen tomorrow. And if you get to the end of the year, like, oh, shucks, I didn't make $1 million. Well, it's because you didn't put in those goals and those benchmarkers throughout the year. It takes a bit more planning and strategy, and there will be pivots that you have to make in your business. So it's best, we're coming towards the end of Q1. So this is a great time to kind of look and see what worked in Q1, what didn't work, what drained you, what made you feel like you were going to die every single time that you had to do it, and how can you get rid of that stuff and then amplify the actual needle movers, like what's actually working in your business. But if you don't look at the numbers and you don't ever do the analytics, and it doesn't always have to be your books, like your actual QuickBooks or whatever.
Right.
It could just be like, what posts worked, what blogs got the most views, what podcasts do I want to be on this year? Really look at the analytics, look at the numbers a little bit and make those decisions accordingly and then adjust. Maybe the goal that you made for yourself on January 1 wasn't really your goal. Maybe it was a goal that, like you jumped on the bandwagon with all your friends, but it wasn't really something you wanted. So reassess that as well. Are you actually doing the goals that you really want to do? Or are you doing things that are influenced from somebody else? Maybe your family thinks you should do that. Maybe your friends think you should do that. Maybe, Susie Q on Instagram said it was a good idea. What's really going to move the needle for you? What's really an important goal to you? And how can you adjust to actually hit that?
That's good. Go with what works. I'm here for it. So for you, how do you help entrepreneurs cut through the noise? Because there's a lot of noise out there. You just touched on it with Susie Q. Us, people watching other people, comparing themselves, all the things. But how do you help them cut through the noise and actually take action?
100%. There's so much noise. I challenge anybody who's listening right now, pull out your ridiculously long to-do list and see if there are things on there that never needed to be on there in the first place. Things that you are way underpaying yourself to do those things. Mm-hmm. How can you optimize? And for me, I always think there's this kind of the rule of three. So every night before I go to bed, and I tell all of my clients to do this, think of your 3 non-negotiables. What are 3 things non-negotiable that you're going to do in the next 24 hours before your head hits the pillow again? What are those 3 things? And they have to be needle movers. I'm not saying like, I'm going to wake up and make breakfast. Like, yeah, sure, that's a non-negotiable, but that's not moving the needle towards your next thing. So what are 3 things that you have to get done? And they don't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to publish a Nobel Peace Prize winning article. Like that's not how it works, but it could be something as small as I'm going to reach out to the Mamapreneur podcast and I'm going to apply to be a guest. I'm going to fill out that calendar.
Stop right there. Did y'all hear that? Okay, carry on. Overlooking. Go ahead.
It doesn't have to be huge because I think a lot of people get bogged down in this. Oh my gosh, I have this huge goal. I want to hit 7 figures. I want to hit 6 figures this year. And they think that that's this huge, ridiculous thing. Well, it's not really. If you break it down into tiny little things and you do those 3 non-negotiables every day that get you towards that thing. And again, it has to be a needle mover. Otherwise, it's just extra noise and fluff. And if you're not familiar with the Eisenhower matrix, I want you to just jump on Google after the podcast, jump on Google and type in Eisenhower matrix. And I want you to make that your new best friend, because this is how we figure out the difference between something that's urgent, something that's important, what you should be delegating, what you should be getting rid of, and what you should actually get done in that, those 3 non-negotiables. But really, it comes down to ruthless prioritization. You do not need to be doing everything. And I come from the school of, if you want it done right, do it yourself. Work harder. Let me tell you, after over 25 years as an entrepreneur, that doesn't work forever. It works great in your 20s. It works great in your teens. It works great even in your 30s. Great. Once something else comes along, for me, it was, there's some health issues, and then my son, and then a crazy thing that happened after he was born. So lots of things that came up. It was very clear that I can work hard. I love working. I'm a workaholic, but you can't be the one to do it all. And you can't grow that way. I mean, there's that old proverb of, if you want to go
yeah, that gets old after a while. You tired, you're exhausted, after so long of doing that. So yeah, I agree 100%. Okay. So as we talk about this amazing book, The Pursuit of Badasserie, if you could describe your book in 3 words, what would it be?
Obviously, badass.
Of course.
Productivity, abundance.
Who doesn't want abundance? All right. Okay.
I want these sound effects in my life. I want like a camera crew with just like, when you trip on the sidewalk and the little,
yeah. Don't you just wish you just had someone just press the button, just walk along with you wherever you are, just.
I'm afraid though, because my facial expressions don't need buttons. We don't need any extra pointing that out.
I love it. I love it. So as a homeschooling parent, um, how do you structure your time to prevent burnout? Because you have a business, you're a mom, all the things in between, and a partridge in a pear tree. How do you prevent burnout from what you're doing? Because, again, as women, B as mothers, and then try to incorporate everything else in between.
It's a lot. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I own multiple businesses. Obviously, I'm a business consultant here in Bangkok, Thailand, but I work all over the world. I also have brick and mortar businesses in Hawaii and other businesses inside the United States. So it's a lot, and it's definitely, thank goodness for my team. Team don't ever leave me. I'll probably lose it. But as a homeschooling mom, it's definitely shifted as it's progressed. So when my son was younger, his sleep schedule was different. So I would shove everything into the times when he was sleeping. So, I mean, gloriously, he used to go to bed at 6:30. And it was like this magical time where like from 6:30 to whenever I could do all the things. Now, as he's older, that's not a thing.
He's up. Yep.
Sleep. But it's really made me very intentional in how I set up my work weeks and how I set up my client calls. And all of my clients know that at any given moment, he could pop on in a call. I mean, they're all you can't work with me and not be okay with me having a kid pop on the call in the middle of it.
That part.
But it's hard, but I'd rather preserve that relationship, and I'd rather be very intentional with my time. I don't work 15 hours a day. I work 2 or 3 hours a day at most. And it's spread out based on usually when he's sleeping, if I can, or maybe I'll have a babysitter come for a few hours if I can, or he comes with me and we work it out. But it just depends on, I try never to have more than an hour or two at a time in a row so that he doesn't have to really deal with that. And so I have really structured my work environment around being a mom so that I can provide for us. I mean, I'm a solo mom, so there's no one's coming to save us. So it has to be me. So I have to be very, very intentional. And I also have to sleep. So it's been very lucky that, or I've been very blessed, I would say, that I have this opportunity to work all around the world. So depending on time zones, I can meet up with people, but it's very structured. It's very prioritized. I only work with people I want to work with when I want to work. And it's kind of a hard boundary that I have because my kid is priority as well. So, I mean, yes, my business is a priority. I love what I do. And my kid's a priority too.
Love it. Well, let everyone know how you can be reached. They want to know more. They want to get the book, honey. How can they reach you?
I would encourage anyone to reach out to us on the pursuit of badasserie across all platforms. I tend to live on Instagram more. Reach out to us if you have questions, if you want to get into group coaching programs, if you want to get a signed copy of the book, if you want to join some of our online programs, we have free masterclasses that we give. We would love to see you. And if you just have a question about what's going on in your business, we want to answer it. Well, we can make it a whole podcast episode just for you and your business. So reach out to us. We love to hear from people and to see what kind of things you're doing as a business owner.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you so much for being here. I hope everyone enjoyed Amanda and got the tips and gems that she dropped. I hope you caught it because she dropped a bunch of stuff in this small amount of time. So I need you to be able to, catch those gems as she just did her nice mic drop. And thank you so much for being here. And of course, we will be connecting again soon, Amanda. Have a great Friday. Bye. You guys give Amanda some claps in the chat. My baby's starting her Friday morning off with us, okay? I am here for it. All right, our next guest is all the way in Atlanta, Georgia. Her name is Mimi Johnson. She is a beauty industry veteran, like myself. Come on, beauty industry veteran, communication strategist, and a creative director with 15 plus years of turning ideas into impactful brands and movements. She's done celebrity makeup, worked across major networks, and she went on to launch Grind Pretty back in 2017, a thriving media platform and community that she has partnered with major brands And last year, I got to be in the room. She had the Grind Pretty Fest here in Dallas. A friend of mine invited me, and I got to meet Mimi there. And I was like, I was in that room, and I was very empowered. I'm like, more people should know about what she's doing. And so I'm like, yeah, come on to the show. So her brand, and I know this number is higher now, has awarded over, my research says 40K. I know it's more at this point and counting, of grants to women entrepreneurs. To do a pitch competition. It is so cool. Not only does she have Grind Pretty, but she is also in the corporate space, working for an amazing organization and working creatively with beauty brands, fashion brands, and lifestyle brands. And at the core, she's a powerful community builder, another reason why we connected, very much so, and philanthropist. And above all of that, she is a proud mommy to a kiddo with autism, driven by purpose, and she is resilient and filled with impact in everything that she does. Everyone, give it up, some claps in the chat to me, DJ.
Hi.
Hi,
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. If we sat here and read your bio, if I went through the full bio, girl, we still be here to 9 o'clock my time. I'm like, I thought I was busy and out here doing things. No, I think Mimi got me.
Well, thank you.
Welcome. I said it a little bit ago. Just being in the room last November, I think it might have been November last year. When you guys had Grind Pretty, and just the speakers and just the atmosphere and getting to meet the ladies, and then seeing the pitch competition and all the things, I just thought it was just a great event as a whole. And I'm like, more people need to know what Mimi is doing. And so just want to give you your flowers live while you can smell them, honey. So
yes, I appreciate that, Robbin. Thank you for having me on your platform. I absolutely appreciate it.
Absolutely. So talk about the journey of, but before I even go there, what does Women's History Month mean to you before I get you to talk about your journey?
Women's History Month is powerful to me. Every March, you think about all the powerful women to celebrate, and there's so many, from your own family, your own heroes, your own friends, to women who paved the way. It's such a beautiful celebration. I always look forward to Women's Month and celebrating other women who are doing amazing things.
Yes, that's what it's all about. And hey, I get to do it all year round.
Yes,
this platform. So
me as well.
Love being able to do just that, and I love just being able to talk to people in the room for your event, just to see how much of an impact you've been on their lives. And this wasn't the only event that they attended and all that stuff. They're like, you need to go talk to her. That's what made me come and approach you. I was like, okay.
It to me, it's kind of like that. If you build it, the Field of Dreams movie, like if you build it, they will come. I'm gonna be transparent. It's always scary doing these events,
of course,
because you know, I never have all of the money up front for, you know, these big ideas. But it's always a level of faith that I have in doing it. And I know that I'm doing it in purpose. And I'm a strong believer of doing whatever you're doing in purpose will never fail. So God will always provide if your alignment is right. So it's beautiful to see the women that show up to each and every Grind Pretty Fest event, and how the energy in that room feels. So that's, you know, one of the reasons why I keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then she takes it to different locations. And so talk about the journey of starting Grind Pretty, and then the upcoming event that's coming up.
Yeah, so I think it's the story of my life. I've never been afraid to jump and take risk. I've always been artistic, and I've always been a nurturer and a giver. So I went from being in corporate to being a makeup artist. I had my own brick and mortar, and I was creating YouTube content. I had built up a clientele of so many amazing women that were running major corporations, or they were founders. And I noticed that my salon became an incubator of amazing women in business. And I wanted to tell the stories of some of the women, and extend my platform or my audience and my reach to show that women that look like us can achieve, and see the good and the bad. And so that's really how Grind Pretty started. It was a blog site. It was YouTube videos of me doing makeup on some of my clients and interviewing them. And that just grew legs. I had a subscription box during the pandemic that was coupled with the magazine. The subscription box went crazy and I couldn't deal with it while I was doing everything else. And I kept the magazine. And on one shoot, my friend who's a celebrity DJ, shout out to Tracy Steele.
Yes,
she was like, she was like, we should do an event. We should do an event together. I'll do the music and I'll get all female DJs, and you're so good at bringing women together. That's your thing, And it was just an idea. And I said, you know what? It makes sense. I'm going to do it. I'm for it. And we're in year 6.
She's amazing. Yeah. I got to talk to her for a little bit as a survivor as well, cancer survivor. And so I just went and gave her a hug. So I don't think she was quite officially in remission yet.
She wasn't there yet. Yeah. She rang the bell recently.
Yeah. She's like, you're not going to make me cry. So I'm not going. I pushed her away. So Grind Pretty's coming up. The fest is coming up next month in Houston. Tell everyone what can they expect? They heard me talk about it, but what can they expect?
Yes. Oh gosh. So we normally have had our big weekend festival in Atlanta, but we had such a great time and energy in Houston in the end of 2024 that I say, you know what, let's just move it down there. Let's just do it. So it is a weekend of true connection and fun, nostalgic fun. I'm an 80s baby. I love the 90s. I love the 2000s. So I'm always integrating that era into what we do with Grind Pretty Fest. The girls get dressed, they get ready to come out. So this time, format is, Saturday, it's festival vibes. So there's the panels with great conversations with amazing speakers. The all-female DJs. We have the day party at the end, and we're in Houston, so we have a line dancing instructor this time.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's going to be really fun. And there's always the support of female founders. So we have our marketplace with lots of vendors. There'll be food there, food trucks. And, we're still giving away. Well, this time we raised $7,500 to give away this time. So one person will win $5,000 and another person will win $2,500. So if you're in Houston or you're close by and you want to come, not just to have a good time and connect, but actually walk away with some money and some connections, I would encourage you to come. And then also, Sunday at our awards brunch, we always give flowers to amazing women that are doing great things. And I'm excited because Melinda Williams is coming.
Yes.
She's so amazing. She's such a great person. So we're celebrating her amongst some other amazing women.
Okay. All right. So let everyone know how they can get a ticket and how they can follow you.
Yes. So you can get a ticket. You can go to our website at grindpretty.com. And you can follow me on all things at Mimi J Online or Grind Pretty.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mimi, for being here with us today, gracing us with your presence. And hey, you should just want to go just to see the smile. Okay. You should just want to go because she's just a light in the room. I was like, okay, who's this lady? Need to be her. And so, if I make a way to come down there, I'm gonna let you know. Like, all right,
Come on, I see you got an event the night before.
I do.
Get up in the morning.
And drive down 45 and head over there. But I'm so serious. I'm gonna see if I can make that work.
Okay. You just let me know. Take it on me.
Okay. You got it. You got it. Well, first things first, continue success with Grind Pretty. Because if this is 6 years. So if this is 6 years, I can only imagine once it gets to 8, 9, 10.
Yes.
15 years.
Claiming it.
Speaking just evolution over it all, just because it's transforming lives. I remember seeing the pitch winner from last year's. And she was just, you could tell she was nervous. And then she got up there. Then when she found out she won, I just felt like she walked out of there so different.
Yep.
Than when she came in. So if you're doing that with pitch competition winners, I can only imagine just someone just being in the room. So yes, continued success. God bless you, girl. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Give her some claps. Give me some claps in the chat. All right. All right. Don't forget to share the live while you're watching us right now. Never know who this show may be impacting today. So my next two guests, we're going to have a cute little podcasters panel discussion. And first is my fabulous soror. Her name is Dr. Shanae Jefferies. She is a sociologist who explores identity and culture with a special focus on names shape our sense of self and belonging. She leads a research and cultural intelligence firm and is the host of the Given Name podcast. I was actually a guest on it. We'll talk about that in a moment, where she unpacks lineage, legacy, and Black naming traditions. Her work bridges academia, corporate strategy, and cultural storytelling. Her name is Dr. Shanae Jefferies. And next, Kisha Woods, Coach K Transforms. She is a powerhouse of transformation and unapologetic authenticity. Say that twice. As founder and CEO of Upgraded MindsetZ, she helps women break cycles, reclaim their voice, and step boldly into their purpose. An award-winning certified life coach and business coach, author, speaker, and 2 times podcast host. I don't know when she go to sleep, but she sleeps sometimes somewhere in there. All right. Kisha delivers no fluff guidance rooted in mindset, leadership, and intentional growth. Through her UPM business suite and coaching platforms, she creates empowering spaces where women rise, lead, and rewrite their stories on their own terms. Ladies and gents and ladies, Dr. Shanae Jefferies and Kisha Woods, welcome them to the stage, honey.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going. Thank you for having me. I'm here. Hello.
Absolutely. So, ladies, I know I gave quick little intros, but I want you guys, before I go, I'm going to ask my first question, but before I get to that next one, talk briefly about your show and who it's for. But the first question is going to be Women's History Month. Really quick, what does it mean to you? Anybody can go first.
Okay, I'll go. For me, it definitely really aligns with a lot of what it is that I do and really breaking cycles, making history, but really having women discover what history means to them individually. We know the women that have paved the way for us to be able to do what we do now, but really talking to us more about creating our own level of history. And that means following things on our own terms, figuring out what that is and stepping boldly into that, whether it is within your corporate leadership or whether, you're doing something advocacy wise, things like that, being able to know what it is that you want to stand for and be unapologetic and moving forward with that, because that the women so far when it comes to women's history, they have paved the way for us to do that. And they didn't do that easily. So I know for me, that's definitely something that I'm going to be able to continue to honor, and creating legacy for that. So that's what it means to me to just continue to pave the way for
that. Love it. Okay.
I'd say it reminds me of all of the unsung women, like our unsung heroes that are just our everyday, like moms who made it to every game, or were at the games where it really counted. Like little traditions that moms make. I'm thinking about my mother a lot when I think of this, of like, oh, like on certain days we'll have like this sort of sandwich, and it makes life special for everyone. So when I'm thinking of Women's Month, I'm not just thinking of the women that we know in history. I'm thinking about the women every single day that do whatever they can to make that day special. They are getting through their day, but they somehow find the way to make it special for somebody else.
Absolutely. And just, she said it a little bit ago, just unapologetically, just being able to do it with confidence now. Yeah. Whatever that is you want to do, and being able to do it as mothers, to be able to go back to school, to be able to start that business, to be able to, hey, if you want to travel the world, baby on hip, whatever it is, you're able to do it, and you don't have guilt about it. You can just go out there, live your life, and just be, I'm going to use Amanda's word today. You can, be badasserie. We're going to put that on the shirt. Amanda, you're welcome. We're going to put that on the shirt. So some sound effects will come your way at some point. Get ready. So tell me about your podcast. I may know, but tell the audience about your podcast. Dr. Shay, we're going to go with you first. I've been on yours. I'll be on Kay's tomorrow. So yeah.
Ooh, okay. My podcast is Given Name. It is hosted by me, Dr. Shanae. This is really a chance to celebrate the creativity in our names. That's why I made the podcast. I thought it was so amazing. I went through grad school looking at discrimination of names, and it kind of leaves for a down life because you're looking at the ways that people hate you, and you have no idea of even meeting them first. Like they know this about you, and there's hatred or prejudice. Mm-hmm. So I tried to flip that, and I went on an Afrocentric perspective. And I said, what if we celebrate the names that we're given? What if our names aren't weird? What if our names aren't a source for discrimination? What if it's a symbol of creativity? What if it's a symbol of our lineage? Things like that, And so I really do enjoy talking to people about their names and how it deals into their identity, nicknames, how they were culturally brought up. If it was important that their parents had their names on like pillows and stuff, like if they had merchandise with their name on it, because some of us, we never found our names in those little key tags or on those like bumper stickers or anything. And so to see your name around you was that important. And let's talk about it. Also, when naming your children or naming someone else, what do we consider in these roles? And I'll say the last thing that I've really found like super interesting is tracing these names from the Great Migration. So as we get these names from the Midwest or from the West, and we trace them back to the South, into the East Coast South, and it's just like it follows a pattern. It's all a social science, and that's
So for yours, what I love your questions. You had the coolest questions. And so we had a conversation about the name not being on the name plate, or, if you ever went to Six Flags and they had the wood name. Mine, of course, we had this conversation on our episode, which was, of course, my name would be spelled, just with the one B. But the person that didn't have the traditional name and
never saw Shanae.
They would have to be made custom made. You get to sit there.
Yeah.
Be like, please make Shanae.
And my parents were not having it. So just, later on. But yeah, I did end up with like a pillowcase with my name embroidered on it. Yeah. And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. So with your show, episode that made your mouth drop, I want to go there with the name.
Ooh, that's already aired or that hasn't aired?
Either or.
Let's see. The name made my mouth drop.
Like just the background from the name.
Oh, okay, that makes this even harder.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. On the spot. I'm gonna say Paxton. It's actually her last name. But the story was like she had so much lineage from her parents and her grandparents being in DC, and like every ancestor she talked about, like dad, mom, maternal grandfather, maternal grandmother, same on the paternal side, they had so much legacy in what they did. Like they were literally pillars of the DC community. And it kind of like, that was the episode that kind of broke my shell open, because at first she was talking and I was like, girl, I asked you about your first name, you know, like what's going on here? And so she tells me about her last name and I'm like, this is such a rich story that I wasn't even going to ask about. So now I have to be like, you know, more inclusive to see that there are other parts of their lineage that people do like hold on to and grasp, and we can just record it, just get it for everybody else.
Awesome. Kisha, tell us about your show and your shows. Excuse me.
And I do sleep, for the record. I'm very intentional about sleep, because when we get out here, I'll be sleeping. So don't even worry about it.
Yes, I'm with you.
But no, so the first one, which is my oldest one, is called Empowering Real Talk Podcast. And it's really just what it is. I really love having uncomfortable conversations, because I feel like that we have been surface level when it comes to growth, self-discovery, personal development. We've been surface level too long. As someone who did her own transformation in 2020, was that breakthrough year for me. I really want to be able to help others. That's what I do within my coaching. So Empowering Real Talk is just an extension of that. We talk a lot about self-discovery, uncomfortable shifts that we need to do. But the one thing that I don't do on either is sugarcoat. And as far as the woman's hustle, thrills and spills of entrepreneurship, again, just what it sounds like. Entrepreneurship is no easy task. And if you are a woman in business in any way, you know, every day there could be a trial, a tribulation, something that goes through. What I was realizing, though, when I was listening to podcasts, is I was hearing a lot of podcasts that just talked about the ups of entrepreneurship, the 6-figure months, and all these great strategies, you know what I'm saying, to be able to help people be great. And that's wonderful. But what I wasn't hearing enough of is the struggles, the people that have the self-doubt, the imposter syndromes, the months that they've gone without income, and being raw and uncut about that. So I created it because I wanted to again have those uncomfortable conversations, but step into it from a woman as a business owner, and also supporting other women business owners and letting them be transparent and tell their stories.
All right. So since you all are podcasters like myself, if you had to restart your show or shows today from zero, back to square one, what would you do differently? Is there something you would do differently today if you were to start all the way over?
I probably would only have one. The reason why I have two is because Empowering Real Talk has been almost 5 years, like yourself, Robbin. But what I was doing was I didn't want to abandon that audience when I was stepping more into restructuring my branding with regards to my clientele and who I was looking for. I always wanted to have a base for that. So originally I was just going to cut Empowering Real Talk and shift it to the Woman's Hustle, but I was in a mastermind. That's why the power of just being in supportive spaces is so important, because they really gave me the logic and was like, why are you going to abandon that audience? But if I had to start over from square one, I definitely only have one podcast. But I enjoy both, but I definitely just have one.
I get it. Okay, Shay.
I think I would redo the marketing for it. Like I've recently understood that I was getting in my own way. So knowing what I know now, I think I would market it far and wide, and whoever wanted to see it would see it instead of like holding it like my gift, like my special little thing, and just like passing it out one by one. I would go big.
Yeah. Go big or go home, Shay.
Exactly. And I'm not going home.
Hey, that part.
That part. What's one move that actually grew your audience? One move that you made within your podcast now that helped grow your audience?
Reaching out, getting support. One thing that I know as women business owners, we will do is try to tackle everything, especially when we want to just have control. And I think that was probably one of the biggest pivots for me is I don't know everything when it comes to the marketing side of things, when it comes to strategy, SEO, from the podcast perspective. So really reaching out and gathering that level of administrative support to be able to increase my outreach was definitely a benefit. And it's actually something that I'm actually in the process of re-exploring new admin to take it to newer heights and, working on monetization with YouTube and things like that. So I'm well on that
journey. All right, we're going to talk monetization in a minute. Yep. Okay, Shay.
Can you ask me the question one more time again?
What's one move that you've done for your podcast that helped grow your audience?
Okay. That's not the answer I thought I was going to give. That was not the question that you asked. I would say just talking about it. Mm-hmm. Just like even mentioning it to people in passing. I think it lets me be more comfortable about talking about it. And then, hey, maybe there's somebody else who is now interested in the show, or they say that their sister should be on the show, something like that. Like it moves through the web. But again, I think I was keeping it so tight. So just loosening it up a bit is something that changed my audience, like grew my audience.
Love that. Yeah. I tell anybody that comes to my podcasting webinar or who's gone through the academy, tell somebody. You never know. Over one platform in itself is over 6 million shows. So just getting people to yours and like watching it or listening to it all the way through.
Yeah. There's enough people out there.
Yeah,
definitely.
So Coach K mentioned it a little bit, and I want to talk about it. Just monetization. So let's talk a little monetization. How are you monetizing your platform today? Before you answer your question, I would like to say a little something to the audience. Podcasting is not a hobby, guys. Podcasting is a business.
It is.
This is for my business owners who are looking for free promotion. There is no such thing in 2026 as free promotions. All right. That's my soapbox. I'm off of it. Someone argued me down the other day about charging for the show. That's another story. All right, go. Anyone? Monetization. How are you monetizing for your show, right?
Sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I'm not sure. I'm still working on it. This is month 5 for my podcast, I think. So we're doing great. But I am doing ads for things that I service or provide in my shows. And I think that was a big step for me too.
That's how you slide it in there. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love it. All right, we'll talk, Cherry.
I know for me, what I am doing is again bringing in new support to be able to reach that. And in doing that, it has also offered a couple opportunities for potential sponsorships for the show. I don't feel, and the person that I actually had audit didn't feel that the numbers were where they needed to be. I'm completely transparent about that. So that's something that we are currently working on. I do have one solidified sponsorship, but my goal is to at least have a half a dozen by the year's end. And then also working to get the YouTube channel itself monetized. And that involves the long form videos, the short form content, really just increasing that presence on YouTube. That is my primary focus right now, is to get the YouTube channel monetized, with that. So those are like my main focuses right now.
Yeah.
For the podcast.
YouTube's interesting, trying to get to the monetization status. I can understand.
Yeah, I'm done trying to figure it out. I'm finna let somebody else do it.
You didn't learn anything from what she just said. Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
Yes. How has podcasting opened doors for your brand, just as a whole? Anybody can go.
For me, it just really establishes my credibility as a coach, as a speaker. Those are the platforms that I'm on, and just being able to know that someone can go. I get emails all the time. Oh, this episode was great. I really enjoyed this episode. And then also I have a newsletter that goes out with regards to the new episodes that come out. So really just being able to extend that outreach on various levels, but just being content with how things are going with that. I'm very, I guess I could say I'm not satisfied 100%, but I'm getting there. Just like I said, understanding those processes for me is probably the most critical time, but also pivoting in a lot of those things. So I think for me, just being confident and just sharing it everywhere I'm at. I'm always talking about it. When I'm saying what I do, I make sure that I tell people that I'm a podcaster, even locally here. And I think, honestly, I've always had what I call a global mindset. When I started Upgraded Mindsets in 2020, we were in the pandemic. We were on lockdown. So I started online. So I've always had that presence online. And I think for me, even though I love my community and I do a lot here, it never was just locally for me. So I've always kept that mindset, and I think it's paid off for me and continues to do so.
Okay, global, you better do
it. Global mindsets. Okay.
Yes.
That's your shirt too. Okay, carry on. Your shirt. Right, Shay.
I think the people that I've met has been the thing. Like I met somebody on a precast, and she was like, "What's your word of the year?" And I was like, and she was like, "Pray about it." And so I prayed about it. And so my word of the year is alignment. Ooh, and it seems like every single time, like the people that I've met from the podcast that didn't work out, the people that have become my mentor because we met on the podcast or we met on Threads or they saw it's just been so crazy. Like I have conversed. That just sounds so uppity. We've talked. I've had guests from I've had guests from Canada. I've had a guest from Switzerland. I'd have guests from South Africa. It's just like, you see it? Yes. It's that part. That's really
claim that. Yes.
That has put the battery in my back for podcasting. Yeah.
I love it. So yours is alignment. What's yours, Kisha? What's your word of the year?
Mine actually was simplicity. It's still simplicity because really working. I actually had an end of year women's growth experience I hosted back in December, and that was one of the things. So my word is simplicity. That means I'm cutting a lot of extra stuff out so I can focus on the things that truly matter when it comes to scaling. So
I love it. She said, keeping it simple, sweetie. Mine is harvest.
Ooh.
Seeds have been planted. Let's harvest.
Yes, I love it. Let's go.
In a nutshell, let everyone know how they can follow both of you and stay connected to both of you and subscribe to your shows. Anybody can go.
So I'm on all platforms, social media wise, at Coach K Transforms. The YouTube channel is Upgraded MindsetZ Media, where you can find both podcasts, The Woman's Hustle and Empowering Real Talk. You can definitely visit my website, which is Upgraded Mindsets with the Z.life. And that says more about what I do, open for speaking, podcasting, collaborative efforts. I'm just all about connecting. So I love what Doc said too, just being able to connect with people, have the conversations. It's pretty dope. So I'm always open to doing that. So don't hesitate to follow, because I definitely will follow back.
Woo-hoo. Okay. Please follow me on all platforms being TikTok, Threads. I'm working on a Facebook, but that'll be the name. And Instagram at awkward_PhD. My website is Shantel.com, first name, middle name, no space.com. And you can find my wellness journal. I created a guided wellness journal that should help moved me through being laid off and heartbroken, but that's another story.
Yeah.
So you can find that, and then find series of classes. And then also, if you are looking for some sort of like teamwork cohesion for your workplace, or know someone who is, that's me. I do identity workshops that help team members in leadership get a better grasp of their work-life balance so that they can be better leaders.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much for being on here tonight with me. Thank you, audience, as well, for tuning in to episode 105 of the Mamapreneur podcast. I hope that you guys enjoyed every minute and every gem that was dropped today. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks as we celebrate year 5 of the Mamapreneur podcast. Y'all have a blessed day.